Hi, everyone. Welcome to meal kit number 28 for the week of December 1st to 5th. I cannot believe it's December. Thanks for being here. Thanks for ordering this week, and thanks for all the support. We're excited to cook with you tonight, and yeah, let's just get right into it. Pork chops have a bad rap. When done properly from a great producer, they can be so delicious, but you have to treat them properly, and we do a lot of the early legwork for you. So we've got a gorgeous local pork producer here, Tamworth Pork, and we do a garlic and rosemary brine on it, and then we cook it sous vide to rare temperature, and then you're just going to finish it off at home. So it's mostly cooked in brine, so it's nice and delicious and tender as well. So the best thing you can do, especially if you cook with us a lot, get yourself a good cast iron pan because it's got a beautiful sear ability to it. As you know, if you've signed in before, grapeseed oil, my favorite thing to cook with if I'm going to do a high heat sear like this. So a little bit of grapeseed oil in there. I've got my mashed potatoes on medium low in a pan, and I've got the sauce Robert, which is a mustard demi-glaze, and that's just bubbling away on low as well. So I want to get the pan nice and hot, and while that's happening, when I took the pork out of the bag, I just put it on a paper towel, and it sucks up some of the sauce or some of the juice. So good seasoning, salt and pepper here. And we got to get some tongs ready. So what I do, so I don't have to wash my hands all the time, is I just season one side, put it the seasoned side down, and then season the other side after you put it in the pan. And so while we're doing that, just cut the bag open of the spinach. I'm going to start working on the appetizer. And we've got these beautiful heirloom beets. I've had to up my game a little bit. I went out and bought some new tongs, some new fancy olive oil. I want to, show off the best stuff around. So we're going to be tossing the beets and the spinach with a generous amount of good quality olive oil and salt and pepper. Now, my pan should be nice and hot right now. When it starts to smoke a little bit, that's when you want to get things in there. So pork chop is only going to be about 45 seconds per side, and then we're going to put it in the oven. So make sure to preheat your oven to 350. Or if you've got a convection oven, a big secret is always take 25 degrees off. So my convection oven is set to 325 or a regular oven to 350. Connor, you did well tonight. So the first course wine is a beautiful Rosado from La Mancha, Spain. The rosé from La Mancha made from the grapes of the Bobal grape, which is a dark-skinned wine variety native to, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, southeast Spain. It is one of Spain's most planted grape varieties behind Tempranillo and Aran. And this is an organic winery, brilliant raspberry pink in color, with red cherries, strawberries, and watermelon rind on the bouquet, yet fresh on the palate. It does very much remind me of watermelon. Okay, so we're about at 45 seconds. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to do the thing that I told you to do, which is season the other side before you flip. Salt and pepper. And you just want a little bit of color on that. So 45 seconds each side, and then we're going to throw it into the oven. Check on our mashed potatoes, and this is a mashed potato and celeriac puree. I'll turn it up a little bit. So it's already done for you, but we're just warming it up in the pan. I put a little bit of olive oil, but the chef says you don't need to. I just like my potatoes and celery root a little bit creamier, but it's totally up to you. Okay, so we don't need this guy anymore. Get the pork juice stuff out of the way. Make sure to wash your hands if you're touching any pork. And pork is ready to go in the oven. So 5 minutes, done. 6:30, we'll do it. Next, we're gonna move to our veggies. So we've got some beautiful sugar snap peas tonight, but butter is required. So 2 tablespoons for 2 people. We're going to put it on medium high, and we're going to saute them for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to throw in the marinated olives, and it has this beautiful marinade. Okay, so while that's happening, we are going to plate our beet salad. Oh yeah, haha, I knew I was forgetting something. So this is an interesting one because apples brown very quickly. We didn't want to cut it up for you. So I'm going to make it super easy. I got this great knife from sort of a cousin of mine. His friend just started up a new knifeware business, and they're beautiful. And it's called Broken Tower Knives. So if you're looking for something really cool, you can check them out online. I'm going to cut an apple the way that my wife cuts it, which is very easy to do, and you don't cut your hands. Because oftentimes, the way I do it, people could cut their hands. So I'm going to slice it off into 4 pieces and leave the core intact. So basically, just imagine cutting the core into a square. And you get rid of that. And now we're going to chop this into sort of 1-inch thick pieces. And actually, a full apple is more than enough. So giving up a little bit to the core, no problem at all. I hear my butter ready. So we're going to throw the snap peas in there. Don't forget to season them. Everything gets seasoning. It just brings out the natural flavor and stuff. Toss them around there. 3 minutes. Sauce Robert is doing well. How are my potatoes? Celery root. Give them a little stir. Very nice. Okay. So the apples go in with the beets and the spinach. And so with that, I'm going to give it a little more seasoning because I've added some more bulk, right? And a little bit of more olive oil. And then next up, we're going to put this basil yogurt down on the bottom. And try to spread it out a little bit, sort of to the edge of the inside part of your plate. Because then you can really get the look. Because you want to be able to see the good stuff underneath, not just taste it. All right. Multitasking. We're going to lower the heat a little bit here. Snap peas are getting nice. Again, occasional stir on your mashed potatoes and celery root. We got 3 more minutes on the pork. How many of you guys out there remember Walk with Yan? I remember watching that when I was a kid. And I thought, this is really cool. The guy's name was Stephen Yan. And he spelled it the same way I do, with a PH. It's the good way to do it, right? And I don't know, I was always sort of transfixed by what he was doing. It was a big salad. Hope you guys are hungry. I sure am. Mondays are always a big day for me and my family. Back to school, back to work. And so getting some nice dinner on Monday night for me is always wonderful. Make sure I get some of the golden beet there. That one's going to be for the picture. All right. Saute the snap peas. We've been 3 minutes. So we're going to take the whole red wine plus the marinade and give it a stir. And later on, you're going to actually separate out the red onions from the snap peas. Okay, so we've already seasoned it. So all we need to do then is do the toasted hemp seeds on top for some nice crunch. Now, you may not need to use all of your toasted hemp seeds, but they're a great way to garnish any dish because it gives it a really nice nuttiness and a little bit of crunch. Oh, that is lovely. So there is our celery or green apple, heirloom beet, spinach, salad with toasted hemp seeds, and the basil yogurt. All right. This guy's almost done, so I'm going to turn the heat off of that The sauce is looking good. Mashed potatoes are looking good. And I know I've got a little time to talk about the um, red wine because the pork has to rest for 5 minutes. Resting is so important. Take this out and use some new tongs, not the ones with the raw pork. Move it around in the beautiful pan juices and just put it on there for 5 minutes. And I know this thing is going to beep at me if I leave it on there. So now I also know that I've got to put my dessert in the oven for 4 minutes. Now your dessert's going to look a little different than this one because we used a mold that was a little too small, so I've done 2 pieces tonight per person, but you might get one larger piece. Sometimes we adjust things after our Monday night trials. Okay, so that's in the oven for 4. The salads are looking good. The main courses are coming. There's dessert. So let's talk about the red wine. We've had this one before. This is a really big favorite of mine. Let me make sure I got the pronunciation. Grignon les Adamas, l'instant croquant from Domaine Grand Neveu in Rhone, France. I'm sorry, Connor, I apologize. I didn't do a great job of the pronunciation. Grenache and Syrah blend intense aromas of black cherries, mixed berries with hints of spice, brambly herbs, rosemary, and licorice. Delicious and fresh flavors of cherry, red berries, and hint of black pepper, savory spices, and minerals on a long finish. So, I love Côte d'Aron Reds. There's just this meatiness and smokiness that comes through that just makes me so happy. So thanks, Connor, for hooking me up with some Rhone stuff. Okay, let's get ready to plate the dessert. It's a chocolate and olive oil cake, and the olive oil makes it incredibly moist. And we've got a chocolate ganache, cocoa nib, and banana crunch. So dollop the ganache on top of the chocolate cake and top with the cocoa nib and banana crunch. So actually, I don't need to put it down first. That's good. That's resting. Potatoes looking good. I'm just going to turn that off. This is like one of the easiest meals we have done in a long time. I'm going to get these fancy new tongs I got. Let me tell you about our wine club, by the way. If you haven't signed up and you're not part of this, it's really cool. So $175 a month, and you get anywhere between 3 and 5 incredible bottles, all in a certain style. This month was Portugal, 1 white, 2 reds. Really interesting stuff. We've had a British Columbia winemaker that does wine in Argentina, British Columbia and Ontario, a mixed bag from that. We've got some really cool things that are already planned that Connor ordered like 6 months ago that are coming along. That anyway, we can't wait to share with you. But if you want, this is a great thing for the person who has it all for a Christmas gift. So keep that in mind. You can do a 3-month subscription, you can do a 6-month subscription, and you can do a 12-month subscription. And it's really fun every month to get a surprise. And it always comes with a wine snack, delivery included. And Connor spends, hours and hours and hours telling you these stories about these incredible artisan winemakers who make these wines. Usually they're organic, biodynamic, sometimes natural. Really cool. Okay, so the celery root mash is on there. I'm going to turn the oven off so I don't overcook. Get to check out my new knife, which is super cool. Having a super sharp knife is wonderful. I was reminded this weekend when I just test ran it. Don't forget, a little more seasoning is always good on the finished product. And so Chef Rich says 5 slices. So this one is going to be a little pink on the inside. Don't worry about that because it's a heritage pork. It is treated differently. And if you want to cook it a little more, you can do that. Oh, you know what? Haha. Let's jump ahead. I should read the instructions first. Chef Rich said, let me make sure I got this right. To plate, the mash followed by the snap peas, and then the onions are actually going to go on top of the pork for color. So snap peas down, but you've got that gorgeous sauce that has been, it's the onion marinade plus the butter on the snap peas. Make sure to get those back there. And it gives it the acidity, that marinade. All right, that guy is down. Now, put the pork over top. Again, a little bit of pink is not a problem, but if some people want a little bit more well done, you can do that. Slide it down. Gorgeous. All right. Then the onions are going to go on top. I'm sure those of you who are following along are like, hey, you got to take the cake out of the oven. And I sure do. However, I turned the oven off, so it's going to be all right. I'm very excited by this. So yeah, let me take the oven out, the cake out of the oven. Usually I plate the dessert first while I'm doing the main course, but in this case, it's going in the oven. So give that a nice stir. Oh, it smells amazing. And if you can, give some sauce around the outside. Over top for the moisture. And I forgot to mention, we've got some great things coming up for Christmas. So if you're looking for something to do for Christmas, we've got a great Christmas menu that's going to be released very soon. We're going to start putting out menus for all of December this week. So we've got a gorgeous Cornish hen that's done almost Christmas in style, and it's done with a bûche de Noël for dessert, which my mom from Quebec was just always a huge fan of, and we always had it. So check it out. And we're delivering and doing pickup on Christmas Eve, so you can reheat it on Christmas Day if you like. Okay, so there is our gorgeous heritage pork chop done with the marinated onions, the snap peas, Yukon Gold mash with the celery root, and the sauce Robert. All right, let's figure out dessert. Olive oil cake. I'll just use this plate to bring over here. So you want to top this with the chocolate ganache. It's got a creamy consistency, and the warm cake is going to sort of melt it, which is lovely, and then keep the crunch on. You're going to have to sort of crumble this stuff up around because it's a brittle. Get your hands right in there. Don't be afraid. I want to thank everyone who has been ordering lately. Last week we did a record number, almost 1,000 meals shipped to people's homes. We had the Snow Soup Fun Gala that we participated in, and that was about 450 of them. And we had almost a record meal with Curated by Beckta. And of course, we've got our hot food takeout, which is awesome too. All right. So there is our chocolate olive oil cake with the chocolate ganache and the chocolate and banana brittle. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy your meal. Jackie, thanks for watching 3 times. Apparently, one of our customers watches this 3 times before she cooks. So thanks for all of that. And I'm glad you got some grapeseed oil. Anyway, great to see you guys, and enjoy and have a good week. We'll hopefully see you next week.